This movie will demonstrate how to use the new external sources functionality introduced in our 2015.1 release. External sources allows you to make use of existing content that you maintain outside of the project. By default, content for the topics and content files is stored directly within the project, which is usually the ideal way to manage your content. However, you might have some existing content that you either cannot or don't wish to import and manage directly within the project. Perhaps some content that's already managed as part of your company's website, or that you're deciding to store as a Quip document for collaboration reasons. In the initial 2015.1 release, we support two kinds of external source. The first kind of external source is a web page, where you have some existing content on a web page you'd like to include in your project. To demonstrate how this works, I'm going to create a new project, and then I'll include the existing content from the privacy policy page on the Infosys website. So I'll create a new empty project, and I'm going to call it Software Manual. And then create a brand new topic, and give it the name Privacy Policy, and I'll drop down the advanced options here, and instead of storing the content for this topic in the project, I'm going to say I want to source the content from an existing web page, and that opens up a bunch of secondary options. So the first of which is the page that I want to source the content for this topic from. So if I visit the Infosys website and navigate to the privacy policy page. So this is the page that I want to source the content from. So the first thing I'll do is copy the page URL into the field here. And if I immediately switch to preview, I'll see that it has pulled the content for the privacy policy page in, but I've got a bunch of other stuff that perhaps I didn't want to include. So I've got items from the top of the page, the menu, and also the footer items. So I actually want a more isolated portion of the content than I've got here. Now what I'm going to do in order to pick out the part of the page that I want to include is have a look at the underlying source. So I'm going to use the inspect element feature in Chrome, and I can see using that feature that the portion of the actual content of the page has a class name of body content. So that's what I want to target when I'm including this particular page. So body-content. So in my element class field here, I'm going to type body content, and the element name that I want to include is not the body, it's actually a div. So a div with the class body content. If I then switch back to design mode and back to preview again, you can see that I've included just the content portion of the page that I want to include. Just do a quick build of the project, add that topic to the table of contents, and then do a real quick build. And you can see that in the generated help page, all of my content is here. I can also decide to include the same kind of content within an existing topic that's already got some content in it. So I'm going to add a second topic here, just to demonstrate. So I have some existing content, and then I can use the widget equivalent of that include functionality, content from web page, and repeat what I did just a moment ago, including a div, body content. And if I again switch to preview, I can see the same content included, but also my existing content at the top here. So that gives you two options. You can either have a whole topic that is entirely sourced from an existing web page, or you can include the web page in amongst existing content in an existing topic, or if you're using Document X, within a content file. The second kind of external source we currently support is Quip. Quip is a simple online and mobile document editor that has great collaboration features. It can be useful for allowing your users to co-author key content for inclusion, as it doesn't require them to have access to the whole project. It's simple to use and configure. So what I'll do is create another new project to demonstrate how we might use Quip. So again, I'm creating a new empty project, and another brand new topic. And in this example, I'm going to include a license agreement. And again, I'm dropping down the advanced section, and this time I'm going to choose Quip as the content source. There's two bits of information it wants for including a document from Quip. The first is the Quip thread ID, which identifies the document uniquely, and the second is the Quip access token, which I can either include here as specific to this particular Quip document, or I can go into project settings and set just the default for the whole project, which is easier if you're including a bunch of different Quip documents. So within project settings, content sources, the default Quip access token. So I'm assuming here you already have a Quip account set up and ready to go. If not, it's a really quick and easy process to get one up and running. And once you have your Quip account set up, all you need to do is get a personal access token that you will use anytime you want to include Quip documents. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I've already set myself up a Quip account, but if you haven't, it's really quick and easy to get up and running with Quip. And once you do have Quip up and running, you just need to get hold of an access token in order for Document X or HelpStudio to gain access to the Quip documents that contain within your account. So the quickest way to find the page, the current page in which to do that, is to do a quick Google search for Quip access token. The top result there is the page on Quip where you can gain your access token. So this is basically a string of letters and digits that I can just paste, copy and paste directly into either the field within a particular document, or even better, within the project settings. It will then be used as a default for every Quip document that I include. And the thread ID, the Quip thread ID, is the ID of the document as it appears in the address bar when you're viewing it within Quip. So I've got a document here with a license agreement in. If I open that for edit within Quip, I can just copy the tail end part of the URL here, and that is the Quip document ID that I need, the Quip thread ID. And then if I quickly switch to preview, all being well, the Quip document will be obtained by Document X or HelpStudio, included directly within this document. So as previously, I'll just do a quick build of this project just to illustrate what this looks like in the generated output. So for Quip documents or web page external sources, the content looks exactly as it would if you had authored that content directly within the project. So the end result is exactly the same. It's just a little different how that content is sourced. And as previously with the web page, we can also include that content within an existing topic. Some existing content. And there's another widget for including the Quip document. And just as before, I can include the Quip thread ID, and then that document is automatically obtained. So it probably goes without saying, but any changes that you make to your web page or to the Quip document are automatically reflected whenever you build or preview your project. So if I go back to this Quip document and add a new paragraph within here, and then I switch back and do another preview, you'll see the new paragraph is immediately reflected whenever I build or preview. So that concludes this short movie demonstrating the external sources functionality, which can be used to include web page content or Quip documents that are being managed and maintained outside of your Document X or HelpStudio project.